Welcome to Hello English Teacher. Today let's look at some character sketches of Class 12 English. So now let's look at the characters in each story one by one. So the first lesson is called The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. It's a short story taking place in a place called Alsace. Now M. Hamel is a dedicated teacher. He's a patriot and he teaches French in a school in Alsace. So he has been teaching in the school for over 40 years. He is very strict and always takes care about the discipline. He scolds his children for doing mistakes. However, on the last day of the school, when the German authorities imposed their language on the region, that is, they should teach only German in their school, he shows great concern and love for his language, which is French, and he wants to teach that very beautifully to his students. So, M. Hamel is a person with a strong sense of duty and commitment to education. He feels greatly saddened when his students and their parents never valued learning French enough. So, he reproaches himself and also regrets the times when he sent students on errands or took holidays instead of focusing on teaching. So, despite his sorrow, he conducts the last lesson with dignity and passion. His emotional farewell, as he writes Viva la France on the blackboard, highlights his patriotism and grief over the loss of his culture. So let us look at this second character, which is Franz, a young boy who is a narrator of the story. Now, he is initially very careless about his studies. He dreads attending school. Dreads means fears, especially on the last day of the French lesson, as he did not prepare his grammar properly. But he is shocked to learn that on the last day in French, the German subject is going to replace it from the next day onwards. So, this realization triggers a deep transformation in him. Now, throughout the lesson, Franz experiences guilt and regret for taking his education granted. He becomes deeply attentive, absorbing every word of M. Hamel's lecture. His emotions shift from indifference to patriotism as he realizes the importance of learning one's mother tongue, which helps in preserving identity and culture. Now, at the end of the story, France symbolizes the loss and helplessness of the people of Alsace and Lorraine who are forced to give up their language and heritage. Let's move on to the next lesson, which is called The Lost Spring, written by Anis Jung. So, there are two characters, Saheb and Mukesh. So, Saheb, who is also known as Saheb-e-Alam, is a young rag picker from Simapuri. He represents the harsh reality of child labor and poverty. So, his name means Lord of the Universe, is ironic as he owns nothing. He and his family are Bangladeshi refugees who migrated to India in search of a better life, only to end up living in extreme poverty. Now, Sahab is an innocent and carefree child, finding joy even in the garbage he collects, as it sometimes brings unexpected surprises. However, his dreams are simple. He wished to go to school and play like other children. Despite his harsh circumstances, he remains cheerful and hopeful. Finally, he takes up a job at a tea stall, losing his freedom. The narrator notes that though he now earns a steady income, he no longer seems happy, signifying the loss of his childhood dreams under the burden of survival. So the second character is called Mukesh, who is from Firozabad and who belongs to a family of bangle makers. Now the family, like his, has been trapped in a cycle of poverty and exploitation for generations. So Mukesh is not like Saheb. Mukesh is determined to break free from his fate. So he dreams of becoming a motor mechanic and is ready to work hard to achieve his dream. So his dream and his ambition sets him apart. So, despite the conditions of his child labor, where children work in dark conditions and airless rooms and all that, he has a or he dreams of a different future. So, his determination reflects a silent rebellion against the tradition that has kept his family in poverty for years. That means, silently in his mind, he thinks of defying what is being written for them, and he wants to have a different career or life altogether. He does not want to follow bangle making. He wanted to become a motor mechanic. Though there are obstacles like lack of resources, education, and social pressure, he all these things makes it difficult, and we don't know whether he'll be able to achieve his dream. So both Sahib and Mukesh symbolize the struggles of millions of underprivileged children in India. So while Sahib's story highlights loss of innocence and inevitability of child labor, Mukesh represents hope and desire for change. So the next lesson is Deep Water, written by William Douglas. William Douglas is the narrator who is a determined and courageous individual who wants to overcome his deep seated fear of water through perseverance and resilience. Now, as a child, Douglas developed fear of water after two traumatic incidents. First, when he is knocked down by waves at the California beach, and second, when an older boy pushes him into a swimming pool at the YMCA swimming pool. Now, this drowning experience leaves him terrified of water for many years. He could not enjoy water sports or do any kind of water activities. However, instead of surrendering to fear, he decides to confront it head on. Douglas has strong willpower and persistence. He hires a swimming instructor and learns how to swim with rigorous training and gradually regains confidence in water. Even after learning to swim, he tests himself in lakes and rivers to ensure that his fear has totally disappeared. Now, his journey highlights his mental and emotional strength. He does not let fear overpower him, and through his experience, Douglas also learns an important lesson that fear is the only thing that you have to fear. In conclusion, William Douglas is an inspiring figure who teaches us the value of determination, patience, and self belief in overcoming challenges. The next lesson is known as The Rat Trap, written by Selma Lagerlöf. So she's talking about a poor person, a vagabond who is homeless and roams about the countryside selling rat trap. He is depicted as a very cunning yet disillusioned man. That means he is always sad, who resorts to petty theft to survive. That means he steals sometimes in order to get some money. So his life is filled with hardship and sees the world as a giant rat trap where people are lured. Lured means attracted by wealth and comfort only to be trapped in misery. So he feels that the whole world is a rat trap and all the people get attracted to that and get caught in the rat trap. Initially, he appears selfish and deceitful. That means he always cheats others. He steals from a kind old crofter and later pretends to be an old acquaintance of the Iron Master to gain shelter. Acquaintance means somebody with whom you are familiar with. However, his encounter with Edla brings out his inner goodness. Her kindness and trust transform him, make him realize that he too can break free from the metaphorical rat trap of sin and deception. By the end, he redeems himself, leaving behind a note and a gift for Edla, proving that compassion can bring out the best in people. So he understands that kindness can actually turn a people into a different person. So the next character is Edla Wilmanson, who is the Iron Master's daughter. She is a very kind, compassionate, and perceptive young woman. Unlike her father, she is not quick to judge the rat trap seller based on his appearance. She insists on letting him stay at their home despite suspecting he might not be a nobleman. Though she knows that he has made some mistake by looking at his eyes, she feels pity for him and takes him home so that he can spend the Christmas day with them. So her gentle and understanding nature creates a lasting impact on the rat trap seller. She treats him with dignity, showing genuine concern for his well being. So her unwavering faith in human goodness leads to the peddler's transformation. In the end, she is rewarded for her kindness when the peddler leaves behind a letter and a Christmas gift, acknowledging her role in changing his life. The next character is the Iron Master or Edla's father. He's a very practical man and impulsive. So, when he first sees a rat trap seller at the forge, he mistakes him for his old army acquaintance and so wants to bring him home. So, he's easily deceived by his appearances and is quick to change his opinion. When he realizes that his mistake, he becomes angry and wants to throw the peddler out, showing his harsh and materialistic side. So, unlike his daughter, the Ironmaster lacks patience and insight. He believes in status and respectability rather than human kindness. However, by the end, he acknowledges Edla's wisdom and the impact of her compassion, though it is she who truly helps the rat trap seller's transformation. So, to conclude, we can say that the three characters highlight contrast between deception and redemption, which is shown by the rat trap seller, kindness and understanding, shown by Edla, and impulsiveness and practicality by the Ironmaster. So, the story beautifully tells us that love and compassion can transform even the most hardened hearts. I hope you liked today's video. For more interesting and informative videos, do subscribe to Hello English Teacher. Thank you for watching.